Sup, you choco fucks? It's your boy Dark Raku here with What If Issei was from the Gojo Clan Part 3. Now, it's been 6 months from the last time I uploaded Part 2 or 7. Or not 7, I mean Part 1 or 2. Well, mostly 7 months for Part 1, 6 months for Part 2. So, yeah. So, let me mention one thing. I am still sick, kinda. I'm not like that sick where I can't breathe from my nose. Mostly my throat will still kind of be hurting a little bit throughout this video. I just gotta clean it. Or mostly, just like, but yeah. But other than that, let me begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up and let me start in this what if. Or recap most of the time. But yeah, I'm gonna go start in the recap. So let me just start. Also, this video might be short, but not the point. But we begin into mostly, well, the recap is, last time mostly both Naruto and Matsuda, not Matsui, Matsuda managed to get out of what mostly school of Kuwa, then decides to go towards Tokyo and enroll there. They enrolled, managing to. This worked well because one is a Gojo member and the other one is a Zenin member. Issei is from the Gojo family and mostly a direct descendant, or not direct descendant, a direct link towards mostly, not direct, but mostly his what's it called, uncle is none other than Gojo Satoru, but yeah, one of the strongest Jujutsu sorcerers. With his father being, mostly his father is actually what's it called, Gojo's brother, but not the point. But of course, that is not the point here or there. But of course, Issei's whole family, mostly bloodline, is all random somewhat. Well, not entirely random. You see here, Goro Hyoto is actually known as Goro Gojo. He's actually kind of the second strongest Jujutsu sorcerer, just because his brother is actually stronger thanks to the fact that he has the 6 eyes. But that's not the point here or there. Now, of course, he does have Limitless, but he has another ability that's not Limitless. It's called like Lightning, but not the point. Storm Release, but yeah. But not the point from that. But of course, this is where, mostly he has that. This is where, mostly Mika Hyoto is not really Mika's, mostly Mika's last name is not Hyoto, but she doesn't really want to like talk about who her kind of like family member is. Her mother is quite powerful, also her father, but of course her mother is kind of like a half yokai, at the same time something else, while mostly her father is someone who's right now in a jail prison cell for what he has done. Not towards her, but towards the people that is his species, his own species. But not the point. Of course, this is where, mostly Issei is actually going to be quite powerful in the near future if he manages to master all his power. He's also considered to be the Red Dragon, mostly the Red Dragon domination user. Yeah, he's actually the user of the boosted gear, but not the point. But of course, mostly with that happening, we go into mostly him kind of get into school. He gets into school. He had to fight against some people just to test that he was powerful. After a while, mostly Aika Kiryu was saddened from the fact that mostly Issei had to go, and she hated everyone in school. Hated every guy because every guy tries to think that she's cute and tries to go out with her, but not happening because she would have kicked the shit out of them. Both mostly Catherine and even Moriyama were saddened from the fact that mostly Masuda also had to leave when Masuda was being really kind of dangerous and bad boy kind of style when he was around them for a bit, not much. Catherine's the most affected, but not the point. But this is where, when they kind of had an offer from mostly Aika's kind of like master, who was actually a devil, she kind of suggested that mostly Aika's mother, or not mother, her kind of aunt, managed to kind of like, instead of going to Kyoto, they go to Tokyo. But yeah, this is where, the idea did work. Of course, mostly Yakuza decides to go to go to Tokyo, and decide to bring them to where the Jujutsu source would be at, just to kind of talk to them and not wanting to start a fight in their kind of territories. But yeah. But of course, when they got there, they saw a battle between the two Zenin twins, mostly Matsuda and his mostly twin brother. fighting against mostly some of the members of Tokyo. At the same time, some of Kyoko members, but not the point. This is where, well, they managed to win, but when they came to Nanami, who actually is a guy with kind of like blondish hair in a style kind of cone fashion, this is where, well, he kind of had goggles and had a kind of mostly meat cleaver. He beat the shit out of both of them in an instant when he uses overtime. Of course, Matsuru and even what's it called, Yoshin, who was actually Matsuda's kind of twin brother, managed to kind of go into a form that they really couldn't control. This is where, well, they both got defeated anyway. But yeah. But of course, the next person that was over there when they were watching, it was basically, well, Gojo versus Issei. Issei managed to beat up his brother Yuta. But of course, when it came to Gojo, he got eliminated way too easily. Now, this is where the last member is a girl named Kenzaki. She's actually from the Blood Clan and managed to defeat her kind of like brother, or not brother, cousin. Because he's a powerful prodigy user in Blood Release, but she's even much more powerful. Thanks to her kind of fallen heritage a little bit, but yeah. She defeated him quite easily, but lost against Utehime. When it came down to the fact that mostly Kenzaki was hurt, Issei was literally pissed that he basically had to use multiple red kind of balls around his fingers. He kind of said reversal red curse energy, and this is where he decided to clap his hands together right in front of Gojo, blowing up everything. But of course, Gojo managed to stop him from doing something like that crazy and knocked him out. Or mostly he just kind of knocked himself out. But yeah. But of course, with that happening, Gojo picked up his kind of nephew. Utehime picked up mostly Kenzaki. And Nanami kind of went to pick up the two twins. This is where, well, Gojo noticed the kind of yokais, fallen angels, devils, and kind of noticed Aika. This is where he kind of teased her about mostly going to go visit mostly Issei in his room. But yeah. Which, yeah, that's where I kind of ended off. But let me just begin into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up. But we go into mostly the what if. Now, we go into mostly Issei kind of, well, being in his room right now, trying to sleep. He felt something on top of him, but of course he didn't really care too much. He thinks it's like mostly someone's dog or something or whatever. Which he just ignores it. But something smashed into his face like a tail, a fluffy tail, which he managed to just push away, thinking it's actually a dog now. This is where, well, another tail kind of hits him. This is where he's getting kind of tick marks, thinking that the dog is kind of trying to tease him or kind of be like an annoying pest. When he opened his eyes, he sees none other than a sleeping Aika Kiryu, with mostly her kind of ears being shown, and having literally kind of 5 tails behind her, all kind of just wiggling around. She seems to be quite happy and quite comfortable and sleeping with Issei. This is where Issei says, "What the hell?" But of course, we go into mostly Issei kind of just wondering why Aika's here, and this is where, he tries to just sleep it off, thinking that mostly it's just a dream, until another tail hits him in the face. And this is where, he noticed that basically it's not a dream, and in actually reality, she's actually here. This is where, mostly Issei decides to reach for his arms to kind of grab her, thinking that this is probably fake or some kind of illusion bullshit, until when he kind of grabbed her, she seemed to be quite real. Her matter and everything was actually there. This is where, he decides to hug around her and keep her mostly closely to him. He says, mine. This is where, he kind of just said kind of quietly while falling asleep. Aika was actually awake when Issei touched her, mostly kind of just like touch her from the side of her kind of waist, because Issei was trying to see if she's actually false or whatever. When that happened, she blushes a little bit, and even blushes further when mostly Issei said mine, by kind of hugging her tightly into his chest. But yeah. This is where, mostly she is just all flustered. This is where, she knows that Issei went back to sleep. She then smiles, thinking that mostly he looks quite cute when he's sleeping. But yeah. This is where, we go into mostly, Yage. Right now talking to Yakuza and, mostly the devils and fallen angels. Yage kind of says, "So, Yakuza-san, you came here to do what exactly?" This is where, mostly Yakuza says, "Wait, literally just visit. My my niece wanted to come here and visit one of your members. Let me guess, it's a Gojo brat." This is where Gojo says, "Ah, I know you missed me. This where, well, Yakuza says, no, I mean the other one. Oh, you're talking about the Issei. Yes. I mean, he is quite talented for a lot of things, but I don't know why you want to go visit him. I know he went to a school named Kuo that was full with devils and other things. Luckily, the devils never managed to kind of, well, decide to, well, kind of try to threaten him into trying to join the barrage because they would have been eliminated in an instant. And if anything really would have happened towards him, Gojo here would have probably go fight the males or something and probably beat the shit out of them. Right, Gojo? Gojo says, what? I wouldn't do something like that. I wouldn't just murder them in an instant if they touch my little, well, nephew. That's where, well, Gojo right now shows a murderous look into his eyes, which you can only tell because, or you can't tell because mostly he had the blindfold, but yeah. This is where making almost all the members of the Devil Society just freeze and paralyzed from the terrifying energy that Wotaka Gojo's releasing. But this is where, well, Gojo says, but not the point. It's not my problem there. This is where, well, they were all kind of scared instantly just because how powerful Gojo is. But yeah. But of course, we go to mostly a kind of little small time skip. This is where, well, we go into mostly everyone kind of waking up. This is where Kenzaki, she woken up and realized that there was no one in her room. This is where, well, she decides to kind of sense around. She senses mostly where Issei will be at and realizes that he is still kind of in the nurse office. She's actually in her own room. And this is where, well, or not own room entirely. She kind of just in the nurse's office, but on the female side. She goes to the kind of male side. Notice the two Zenin twins kind of waking up. And of course, they were already awake, kind of just looking at the situation with Aika and Issei. This is where, well, Yoshin says, should we wake them up? Matsuda says, hell no. Like, just keep them fucking like that. And who really cares? If anything happens, we can just say that we didn't see this when Kenzaki actually finds us. Didn't see what? This is where Kenzaki appears behind both of them. Both of them freaks out in an instant and says, oh, nothing. Other than that, we gotta be going. This is where both of them ran like hell. Kenzaki noticed, what's it called? Well, Aika right now holding into, what's it called, Issei's embrace, and Issei holding onto her. This is where, well, Kenzaki gets a tick mark and just annoyed from the fact that mostly some bitch is right now holding her man. This is where, well, Kenzaki was about to send blood needles into stab into mostly Aika. Until Aika's kind of reaction managed to kind of, well, open her eyes, and this is where her tail started to attack Kenzaki. Kenzaki glares at Aika, knowing that this is bitch, a little slick little fox, is there to try to take her man. This is where, well, mostly Issei kind of opened his eyes, noticing a needle about to stab into his mostly face until he catches it. He then opened his eyes fully and kind of noticed what's it called. Both Aika and Kenzaki glaring at each other. They look to be in a standstill, but mostly Kenzaki summoning out her blood needles, and while mostly what's it called, Aika summoning out those like kind of like orangey kind of fire from her her hands, or not orangey, it's kind of what's it called? Well, mostly the flames are kind of a greenish color, and this is where, well, she's also using water. This is where, well, Kenzaki is glaring at her with a murderous look, but yeah. This is where, well, both girls were about to start fighting until mostly Issei wakes up, looks annoyed, and decides to use his special eyes to just erase their kind of magic entirely. Not permanently, just kind of nullify them in an instant. This is where, well, both of them were just winding their eyes. Well, one was using what's called mostly cursed energy, while the other one was using magic. But of course, mostly it doesn't matter with mostly Issei's eyes. They can be nullified no matter what. This is where, well, Issei yawns and kind of says, what are you two doing? You girls are right now being disturbing as hell. Oh, my body hurts still like hell. This is where, well, we'll see, Aika says, oh, are you still hurt? Yeah, I am. I thought with a nap rest I could actually recover. I think I'm still draining from cursed energy. And this is where, well, Kenzaki says, I can help you with that. This is where Aika says, no, I can help him. This is where both of them glaring at each other. This is where, well, he says, can you two just stop for a second? I think I'll be fine for the day. I just don't need to overdo myself. This is where, well, both of them say, we can heal your wounds still. And this is where, well, Issei says, and how would that work? This is where, well, mostly they both kind of say, through sexual, or wait, what, you can do that? Both of them just looked at, well, each other and just can't believe that they can actually do the same kind of ability. This is where, well, Issei kind of says, sexual what? They say through having sex we can actually recover your magic slash mostly repair any wounds or any of that. They both said at the same time. Making Issei blush in an instant looks away. A little flustered from the fact that both of them admitted that in an instant. They both blush and of course they kinda say, so what do you Issei chuckles and says, it's fine girls. I'm not that hurt. And besides, I'm just drained from energy. I'm not hurt in any way, shape, or form. I recovered my energy and just repaired the wounds that I took. But it wasn't too deeply of a scar or any of that. Besides, Shoko over there managed to heal me. Shoko says, yo, also you two girls need to calm down. You two girls are really trying to be quite thirsty. Both of them blush and looks away. One having her kind of 5 tails behind her and kind of just like trying to cover her face. While Mochi Kenzaki summons out her wings and kind of just cover up her face. Which makes mostly Issei chuckles. Just seeing how cute of a reaction both of them just kind of shows. Issei says, well, I should be getting up. Issei gets up and Shoko says, don't overdo it. I tried to already heal your wounds and mostly repair your fingers because you didn't blow them up, luckily. But other than that, don't overdo it. You damn brat. You'll remind me straight up of Gojo half the time. So, of course, mostly with, not Naruto, mostly Issei kind of just like telling them that they have to go, or we all have to go to mostly somewhere. This is where he grabs both Kenzaki and even was caught Aika's hand, just dragged them out of the, mostly nurse's office. This is where, Shoko was chuckling, just seeing how mostly both of the girls were reacting with mostly Issei's hand. So, of course, mostly him just dragging them out, but yeah. Shoko just kind of giggles while kind of just saying, well, that's the Gojo family for you. Always being annoying pricks half the time. Well, maybe. Not all of them. Issei is not that bad. Unlike his annoying uncle. This is where, she thinks of mostly Gojo, and Gojo goes, ha 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 ha, ha ha ha, I'm gonna murder you! Yeah, you get the point. Well, to his enemies, that's what he says. To Shoko, that's like, Shoko, Shoko, Shoko. Like, Gojo just keeps kind of annoying her, kind of just saying Shoko over her name. Just over and over. Which just annoys her half the damn time. And every time she tries to smoke a cigarette, mostly Gojo would just take it away from her and says, you know smoking is bad? This is where Shoko's always pissed, annoyed with fucking Gojo's antics. But yeah, this is where, Issei is not that bad. He is literally a little bit much more better than what's it called, Gojo. That's just probably because of mostly Gojo's younger brother being Goro. Goro is actually much more of a kind of, not that strict, somewhat laid back, but not that laid back, unlike Gojo or Kakashi. Which, yes, Kakashi is actually kind of like their triplet brothers, because, yeah, Gojo's actually kind of a triplet with mostly Goro and Kakashi. But, yeah. But, of course, mostly Kakashi's supposed to be like the, mostly kind of middle-ish youngest. But, yeah. Mostly with Goro, but, yeah, Gojo's a little bit older than both of them. But, yeah, not the point. This is where, we go into mostly Issei kind of dragging both the girls out. This is where both of them say, this is where both of them are flustering from the fact that they're kind of having, mostly skin contact with Issei's hand, which he is quite soft, mostly even if he did just went into battle a while ago. It's a little bit rough at the same time soft, which most of them just fluster. But of course, when they keep walking, this is where they bump into a girl with kind of bluish hair and bluish eyes. This is where, her name is, mostly. This is where, she has kind of longish blue hair with kind of bluish eyes. This is where, her name is Helm, and this is where, Helm kind of just says, hello there, Issei Gojo. This is where Issei kind of chuckles and says, you don't need to call me from that full kind of name. From my surname half the time, or, yeah, you get the point. This is where Helm just walks up, right now pokes him in the chest to see if that hurts. This is where, Issei says, what are you doing? I'm just seeing if you didn't do something idiotic and actually hurt yourself again. This is where, she looks kind of stern, but she is quite kind and hearted half the time, if you get to know her. And this is where, mostly she didn't notice Kenzaki and even was a Aika, and she know her eyes so bad at mostly seeing them hold mostly Issei's hands. Which mostly both of them noticed that mostly Helm looks to have this aura of very angry and annoyed, which mostly Issei also noticed and kind of just calmed her down by kind of just like mostly putting his like head into hers. And saying, are you okay? You look quite angry. Well, not angry. You look like you're kind of all red. Are you hot from somewhere? This is where, well, Issei knows what exactly is happening. You just need to kind of act a little bit dumber. This is where Helm's face becomes, instead of red from anger, red from embarrassment, blushing, saying, I'm fine. This is where, well, we'll see, making both Aika and Kenzaki just sweat drops. But yeah, Helm is another girl that actually likes what's it called, Issei, from the fact that he's quite powerful, of course, at the same time charming, but also quite intelligent with his words half the time. Because he isn't a dumbass with his words. He won't be just telling you, haha, I'ma murder you in the middle of battle. He's actually quite sometimes stern in battle. And actually, at the same time, when he's with a team, he is actually always taking leadership most of the time. That's what Helm actually likes about someone like that. When someone actually takes leadership. Now, Issei usually would not take leadership unless it's for a desperate time. Because he doesn't like actually leading people. He does everything by himself, similar to that of Gojo. Just because how the Gojo family usually does things by themselves. Because Kakashi does something by himself. Sometimes he doesn't even involve anyone else. Neither does Gojo or Goro. So yeah, he's always a solo wolf half the time. But that's not the point. Then there's mostly the fact that he does take somewhat leadership just because of his like great grandfather from mostly not great grandfather, from his grandfather's side, from his mother's side. But yeah, sometimes he just manipulates people to actually take leadership. But yeah, but not the point. But we go into mostly a time skip of, well, mostly them kind of going towards mostly the principal's office, or not principal office, just getting around mostly Jujutsu High Tokyo. Yeah, pretty much Jujutsu High. But this is where, well, mostly Aika is just looking around and seeing all the amazing different Jujutsu users. So some of them are quite difficult to understand. Like Hikari. Hikari was a guy who just gambles. And this is where, well, Hikari did ask mostly Issei if he wants to gamble. This is where, well, mostly Issei chuckles and says, sure, why not? Helm did manage to grab his arm, even Kenzaki, and even Aika grabs his arm before even letting him decide to gamble with Hikari. But Hikari kind of just chuckles seeing how the girls actually react. This is where, well, mostly Issei sweatshirts, but not the point. Issei probably would have won thanks to the fact that he has literally the devil's luck with him, but yeah. He is quite lucky half the time. So, that's the thing. But of course, well, mostly, they also then meet mostly Toto and what's it called? Yeah. Toto and even what's it called? Yuji. Yuji was a guy with pinkish hair and says, yo. He's always so friendly and smiling half the time. With Toto always kind of doing the exact same thing. But with a trying to do a charming smile, but it's creepy half the time. Which creeped out him, Kenzaki, and even what's it called? Aika, with mostly Toto doing that. This is where Yuji says, yo. This is where, well, he kind of just said towards Issei. Issei says, yo, what's good, Yuji? This is where, well, Yuji says, nothing much. Just got my ass kicked from fucking Matsuda with the stupid fucking blue flames. So annoying. I'm trying so hard to actually increase my flames to a higher degree to either blue or crimson. Crimson would be better. I would have probably burned through his damn flames. But it's going to be harder than expected. This is where, well, mostly Toto says, nonsense, brother. With training and a lot of determination and the best part, your favorite mostly type of woman, you can do anything. This is where, well, mostly Yuji says, yeah, you're right. This is where, well, mostly Aika says type of woman. This is where, well, mostly both Kenzaki and even Helm put their mostly hands over mostly Aika's ears and just mostly Helm decides to lift up her hand and just says, don't ask about it. That guy's just annoying. This is where, well, mostly Aika nodded. Now, Aika isn't that short for mostly Helm or Kenzaki. Kenzaki usually doesn't actually like fully kind of like stretches out her back most of the time. So she looks kind of short, but she is quite tall. But of course, mostly we go into Issei sweat dropping. Well, those guys are going on about it. This is where they do actually meet what's it called, Mekamaru. Mekamaru is still kind of just repairing his robotic machinery body. This is where, well, mostly Issei says, yo, Mekamaru. Mekamaru kind of looks up and just says, what do you want, Gojo? This is where, well, mostly Issei says, why do you gotta call me from my surname? Not the point. What you doing? You repairing your body from the fact that you got your ass kicked from mostly Yoshin? This is where Mekamaru just says, screw off already. That bastard with the fucking somewhat 10 shadows is annoying. his 10 shadows is much more advanced than that of freaking, we'll see, Megami. Which, go talk to him. That guy is right now frustrated from the fact that he lost against the ocean. Well, that's the case since mostly what's it called? Yoshin's 10 shadows are different from mostly the normal 10 shadows of the Zenin clan. Whatever. This is where, well, mostly we go into a Megami kind of scene, what's it called? Issei. Issei says, yo, what's good? Megami says, don't. Megamaru just told you to get over here and just talk to me. That bastard would just throw someone else to talk to. Yeah, that's the case. Megami says, go talk to someone else. I am not interested in talking. Maki and even Maya are over there. Go talk to them, since clearly you're always interested in them. Oh, right, Maki and Maya. This is where, well, Helm, Kenzaki, and Aika were confused. But, of course, Helm already knows who exactly Maki is. Actually, they're kind of training mostly partners at the time. With mostly Kenzaki has met, what's it called, Maya, and they also are training partners, just because they use guns and not the point. This is where, well, Issei says, yo, Maki, Maya. This is where, well, Maki right now sent a blade straight towards Issei because she got startled. And this is where Maya right now points her gun at mostly Issei, which Issei grabs both weapons in an instant. This is where Issei swears and says, you girls are really trigger happy. Well, sword happy and trigger happy. This is where, well, both of them just sighs and says, Issei, what are you doing here? Issei chuckles and says, just looking around. Can I not look around? This is where Issei smiles at them. This is where both of them flusters up because they were kind of a little bit embarrassed with the fact they almost attacked their kind of favorite kind of white, purplish hair boy, but not the point. Because yes, Issei does have purplish highlights half the time. This is where, well, mostly they also do have an interest with Issei. But this is where, well, mostly Issei kind of chuckles and says, well, what are you girls doing here? This is where, well, both of them just says that they're pretty much just here after the injury battle between the two other Zenin twins. This is where, well, mostly Issei nods and says, that is true. Both Yoshin and Matsuda can be quite difficult to deal with half the time. This is where, well, Maya says, you tell me. Freaking Matsuda always has a fucking sword and a gun or even using his blue flames. Like, what the fuck is that? Is that even a part of the Zenin family? No, it's not. He has it from his, like, father or something. Because his mother was none other than what's called Toji's, like, being sister of Toji. That is true. Well, I can't really blame him for anything like that. Yeah, that is true. Well, we should probably be going, because mostly I know Kyo students are going to go back towards, what's it called? Back to Kyo. I see. Well, good luck with that, Maki and Maya, or mostly Maya. This is where Maki says, I'm a part of this fucking school, you idiot. This is where, well, Issei chuckles and says, sorry. Kind of mix you guys up, but yeah. Well, have you seen what's it called, Gojo anywhere? Mostly my uncle, or mostly Kakashi. They both, shake their heads and say, nope, we haven't even seen them. Well, okay. Well, we'll be looking for them. This is where, well, Issei says, well, bye, see you. This is where, well, mostly Issei walks away, while mostly the girls, Hanma kind of just looks at both of them. And this is where, well, she kind of whispers toward them saying, do you like him or something? This is where, well, both of them blush and say, what? No, we don't like him. If that's the case, then I'll be taking him. This is where both of them glares at Hanma, and this is where Hanma kind of just cheekily kind of smiles, because she knows what exactly to trigger mostly the girls with, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Kenzaki kind of just sweats up and just asks Hanma, why will you even ask them? This is where, well, mostly Hanma says, well, the problem is I kind of noticed you two always flustering and blushing around Issei-kun. So, of course, I decided to ask any other girls. Besides, you do realize with the Gojo family revival, because there's not many Gojo members, when he becomes the head of the clan. Yeah, I forgot he has to become the head of the clan, because Gojo wants to just throw it upon him. Yep, which seems kind of annoying, not gonna lie, just to throw a position onto a younger child. Yeah, that is true. I know the Zenin family isn't going to do something like that. My brother is the head of the clan of our clan because, well, since I am only a half-breed of the full clan, at the same time, he's also half-breed, but that's just because he's more human than I am. This is where, well, mostly him nodding and says, that is true. So, you're a fallen angel, or half fallen angel with a half, the common clan. Yep. So I'm a kind of like fallen blood angel or something you can say. Interesting. And you, Aika, you're a, what's it called, yokai of 9 tails, or mostly a kitsune. Yeah, I only have 5 tails right now. I'm not that strong, but yeah. Interesting. This is where Kenzaki says, and you're a mermaid, aren't you? Half mermaid. This is where, well, Helm says, how did I not know? Bitch, you think I haven't noticed you being in the water most of the time? This is where, well, mostly Helm kind of just blush and say, shut up already. This is where, well, they are giggling, but this is where, well, they're walking, but yeah, next to Issei. Well, not next one behind him, but yeah. Issei heard all this, but yeah. But he just going to ignore it for a second. Just so, yeah. But yeah, Helm does kind of never show her kind of mermaid side. Kazaki sometimes shows off her fallen side, but not much. And mostly Aika was just surprising with the yokai status. But yeah, other than that, I'm going to end it off here for mostly part 3 of this what if. I know it's short, I don't care, I gotta be going somewhere, I gotta go get milk, and also gotta go cut some shit. But other than that, bye soon, yeah. But yeah, I'll be going.